LFC Daytrippers, brought to you by bookmakers.com.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Fatback 4 from the LFC Daytrippers. I'm Gavin, with me this week is Seany and Emmet. Keats on a night off. Brought to you, of course, by bookmakers.com. If you're into all the best odds on all these bookmakers, whatever you need, bookmakers.com, go there, you get all the best odds across all the bookies and all the different sports and everything else. Do so responsibly. If you're not into that, stats, comparisons, different things, there's loads, there's articles and everything on that website, so go and check out bookmakers.com. Tonight we're going to talk about Liverpool's 2-0 win away at Newcastle. We're going to talk about Eddie Howe, who doesn't know rules, angles, can't count players. There's all sorts going on in Eddie Howe's head, and anything else that comes up in the next hour or so. The lads done a brilliant post-match show as always yesterday, Chris and Kev, so if you haven't watched that already, go back and watch it. They recorded it about 20 minutes after the final whistle yesterday, and it was excellent. Jesus, Shawnee, we're on a Sunday night. Liverpool have won a fucking game, and I don't know what to be doing myself, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all good. It's. I think it was always going to be the case that I think the outlook would be completely different after a run of wins, and we see now just kind of how bottleneck the league is, like, you know, which I kind of added to the frustration in previous weeks when, like, Newcastle haven't been able to win a game in ages. I can't remember the last
3-1
time
all
they
draws
won
in
a
a
game.
row before the game yesterday.
So they've struggled, you know, and like it was hard to see where their next sort of wins were going to come from. But it was another good performance yesterday, which I think is being downplayed a little bit. Even though they 10 men, it's been a tough place to go for many teams. I think we're the only team to beat them there this season, and we just look more like Liverpool the last couple of games. And yeah, it's good. It makes for good reading. Like, you're kind of looking ahead now on the fixtures, going couple of more wins and we're right in there. I think we've 2 games in hand on Spurs, but we're 5, 6, 7 points behind, is it?
We've a game in hand on Newcastle. We're 6 points behind them.
Yeah, forget about Newcastle. I think Spurs are the team we're chasing, to be honest with you.
Well, we've 2 games in hand with them. I think we're
seven behind, 2 games in hand.
Yeah. So, like, you have to win your games in hand, obviously, but like, not to parrot myself, but I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't think we're as far away as people think. Like, it's never as bad as you think. So cause for optimism, I think, definitely around Liverpool.
Emmet, you know, we win the derby on Monday night, and I honestly, the way we were playing, I couldn't see us winning the derby because of all the different things in the mix. But we are a little bit different in the derby. You know, we were winning second balls. We went through it all, and there was a definite change in the way we were playing. And we were going into this one. I think towards the night I predicted a 3-1 win for Liverpool, because I just felt that as much as they drew a line in the sand after the Wolves game, before the derby, this one was even bigger. Because it's all very well winning the derby, you know, all the emotion around it. You need to go and build some sort of momentum, or try to get some momentum going. And I seen this as a much bigger game than the Everton game. Because, you know, if you draw the Everton game, it's like, oh, I must win this. But by winning the Everton game, you've given yourself a smidgen of a chance. So you have to go and nail it, especially with the team you're playing. They're in fourth. They're X amount of points ahead. If you win, you get 3 points on them, plus you have a game in hand. It's just a huge game. And going into it, were you confident? That were you like me, where you thought they just have to go and make this happen?
Yeah, I think you predicted that we'd win the Newcastle game before we even played Everton. So look, the Everton game was great, but we could be on top form and still draw that. We've drawn those in seasons derbies where we've been absolutely flying. So I think Newcastle was probably always going to be more of an acid test than the derby. But the way we went into the derby, and you said last Sunday it's going to be won and lost on second balls, and that's exactly how the game was won on Monday. But going into yesterday's game, that was, I thought, more of an acid test than the derby, and I think we passed it at a canter, and I don't know what, we'll get into the game and stuff like that, but I'm seeing different people saying we were poor, and I thought it was more like a testimonial at one stage. But yeah, especially on Newcastle, because I think Newcastle were always going to fall away. Their squad is very thin. A little bit like Arsenal as well. Arsenal have had a little bit of a wobble, but the two of them have been playing the same players non-stop, and it was bound to kind of catch up with them. And I think it's probably caught up with Newcastle a little bit over the last few games. I think they lost to Sheffield Wednesday in there as well, didn't they? Was it the FA Cup or League Cup?
Yeah.
So look, they're not as invincible as it's probably a scary place to go. I've never been there. I've been outside the ground on a match day, and it's a scary place to go. I can only imagine what it's like inside the ground. So I think it was massive that we tried to quieten that crowd. You could hear it on TV. They were loud, and it was important that we did something to try and quieten them quick. And to be honest, they came out of the blocks flying, and I never felt like I felt in other games when teams came. I was nervous in previous games where teams come out. I thought we kind of controlled it well. Yeah, they had chances and stuff like that, but I think it was important to get the early goal, and that kind of took the sting out. And then 7 minutes later, kind of took the sting out of the crowd altogether. Then, but I think that's massive. Yesterday is a massive win. Like you said, it was a 6-pointer, not a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I was looking at the fixtures before the Everton game, and I felt, or just after the Everton game, and I felt that we have Newcastle, we have Palace away, Wolves at home, United at home. That's the next 3 now, and I think we have to win all 3. You know, there's no point in going and beating Palace and then drawing at Wolves, or winning against Wolves and losing to United. I think we have to win them all, just because as much as you say that there's teams falling here and falling there, before you know it, you've only 8 games left or 10 games left. The games are actually ticking over quicker than you think, and I just think I just like going into the game itself, and the lads covered it in detail. But Shawnee, talking about quieting crowds down, like Almiron has a chance after 2 minutes, you know, and Alisson makes a great save, but it was a huge goal on a lot of levels, wasn't it, for that we get through Nunez, because we play past a press, we're crisping the passing. Trent gets it. It's a trademark Trent ball that we haven't seen in a while. It's a beautiful touch by Nunez. We were talking about it last night, me and you, Shawnee, where we've seen chances where that comes over the top of Nunez and he just tries to strike a first time, but he doesn't. Takes a touch, it hits him, it drops, and he buries it. And it's a huge goal on so many levels, isn't it? Quieting the crowd, Nunez, Trent, the passing, everything about it was like, bang, 10 minutes, because we're so used to being behind after 10 minutes, Shawnee.
Yeah, the cheek in Nunez, by the way, he thought he scored.
Oh, yeah.
He thought he scored.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Tyler.
He thinks he scored. I was like, no, Martin, he has scored. You fucking sausage.
It's in the goal, Martin.
Yeah, it's literally in the back of the net, Martin. He thinks he scored. What you think? He's not dreaming. The most impressive thing by me yesterday, Gav, was there was patterns of play. You know, it didn't look like fucking scattergun stuff that we'd seen. Even in the Everton game where we were just kind of playing stuff and hoping for it to come off, there was patterns of play again. I just wish Jordan Henderson was 26, 27, because the difference he makes to Liverpool when he's playing well, I don't care what anyone says. It's just the functioning machine becomes a functioning one again. And I thought it was evident yesterday with the little triangles on the right-hand side, and you could see we were sucking them in. Now, I'm not sure what Trippier is doing for the first goal or what the whole Newcastle back four is doing, but it's the most it's not something we've associated Darwin Nunez with since he's come in at Liverpool. I love him. I love him as a player, but I've been critical of his numbers, and I'm not exactly in the line of giving fella a free pass because he walks his bollocks off or he's chaos. You want to see numbers on the board, and I think we've seen that in the last couple of weeks. Like, there's affecting games, and then there's really affecting games in terms of getting goals and assists, and that's what we need more from him. And he's getting better every week. Like his pass to Salah last week and the goal yesterday. He's really starting to kick into gear, and I really feel that there's so much more to come from him. So I'm not going to set the bar that low for him because, yeah, he did cost a lot of money, but I genuinely think this fella could be world class. We seen yesterday, he just needs to relax, and then he gets a great chance as well in the second half where he cuts inside and forces Dubravka to make a great save. We're seeing a lot more. I'm not know what the word. He seems to be a little bit more calm,
much more relaxed
in his play.
Composed, yeah.
Yeah, a lot more composed. He's getting his head up, you know. I just thought, like, I think he'll be fit for Tuesday, but I hope he can stay. I hope he's not injured because it's kind of been stop-start from a little bit when he's getting going and he gets injured. But yeah, it was a brilliant goal, and Trent back to his best in terms of going forward, and same with Robbo. So yeah, way more like a Liverpool goal than we've seen in a long time, and I'm sure you're grand though. But the second one as well is fucking brilliant.
Well, you see, I'm of the opinion that if Liverpool go on a run of games, I think the player that'll gain most out of it is probably Darwin Nunez, because he looks more relaxed, and you have to remember he's looking more relaxed because Cody Gakpo's got a goal. Salah looked a little bit back to himself on Monday night. You know, players are coming back and starting to influence games. And I always say it, if you have a really solid base, your strikers can miss chances because they know they get another one. And it's not going to massively cost you at the other end because you're good at the back. And it hasn't been like that for Liverpool. And Darwin Nunez has come in, and I think he's probably thought to himself, I have to score every chance I get here. It's just the way things are. And, like, honestly, I think a month, 6 weeks ago, that ball drops over his head. He tries to smash that first time. He does it away at does he do it away at, is it Everton? Or there's one where the ball comes over him and he just smashes it. I think it's away at Villa, actually. It might be away at Villa where it just comes over and your man is in goal.
You hit the bar.
Alton. No, there's one over his head and he smashes it against Villa earlier on the season. But that one there, he just looks like, just be more comfortable in what you're doing. Take that extra touch, take that extra second. And even because of the speed of him and how good the touch is, he could have taken an extra 3 seconds and nobody's near him before he slots a past Pope. But he takes no chance and he buries it. Then you see the second goal, and we've spoken about the midfield being so far away from the forwards and it just looks disjointed, new set patterns of play. But Emma, Alisson gives it to Van Dijk, and in weeks gone by we're like, just get the fucking thing away. Like, because if we lose it in that area, we're going to get killed. He plays it into Bacic, and Bacic just sends your man to the shop with a turn. And all of a sudden, the whole thing opens up. And he doesn't worry. He tears to the middle of the park. Doesn't try a Hollywood ball where you think he might, because he's just done a brilliant turn and run. He just plays it simple. Robertson gets outside. Gakpo plays it, Fabinho, and it's a brilliant ball by Salah. And it's a brilliant finish by Gakpo. And, like, that's what you expect from Liverpool, isn't it? And in that, you've seen a young lad, Emmet, growing all the time. You're seeing your fullbacks raring to go. You're seeing a Gakpo growing in confidence. And I think you're seeing a Salah that's actually loving playing with these two boys up front.
Yeah, like, he's 18. Like, to have the confidence to do that in the cauldron of St. James's Park, like, shows, like I said a couple of weeks ago, he seems wise beyond his years to let that ball run across his body and then turn, and he runs about 30 yards. And like you said, he's not looking to get rid of the ball. He's looking to see what's the best ball. And it shows, again, composure is something that we've spoken about already with Nunez. We all seem a little bit more composed. All the players seem a little bit more composed. But we've seen those types of goals before with Bobby, Mane and Salah. So it's great to see them now linking up the way previous front threes have for us. But it's unbelievable. I honestly thought he was offside. because it happened so fast, and he traps the ball, and I'm thinking, oh no, he's offside, scores.
Amazing.
Oh, it's unbelievable, yeah.
And you can see the pace on the ball. His touch was amazing.
And I think like that's going to do him the world of good as well. You saw him against Everton last Monday when he got his goal. All of a sudden, he had that little bit more of a pep in his step, and he is fit. He's starting to find his place in the team. We spoke for weeks about him playing up top, playing out left. He was getting chopped and changed all over the place. They seem to be kind of switching himself and Nunez from time to time. And I mean, even saw Salah come into midfield. It's just like everybody wants to win. A couple of weeks ago, it was like nobody wanted the ball, and when they got the ball, they were playing it away or just playing blind passes. There's a mojo about the team again, and I thought it was interesting that Trent kind of maybe came a little bit more into midfield. I'm not going to talk about Trent playing in midfield, but rather than kind of going bombing down the wing, that ball for the Nunez goal was actually played inside. He actually played that from more of a centre midfield position into Nunez. So, look, it's like we said, green shoots. It's on to the next one. Do you know what I mean? We're not fully around the corner, but we're approaching it, let's just say. But yeah, I think Salah looks way more on it and looks happier playing again. It's just they all seem to have a bit of a pep in their step.
I think there's certain individuals in that team, and you've mentioned one earlier, Seany, in Henderson, and I think Fabinho. I think they've got an absolute rocket. And I honestly mean that, to be left out of a side like they have over the last 4 or 5 weeks, all right, and the way Klopp's body language, his demeanour, and even his words he's used, and he's only used them recently when he was asked about Jude Bellingham, where he says we need to make changes. We know that. It's just about finding the right solution. So he's basically telling you he's going to do stuff. Just try to, even if we're on a good run, he's definitely going to try to sort something out. And I don't want to get into a transfer fucking war chest bullshit argument, but I think they've got a rocket. I think the comfort has gone away from certain players in that team, where they're kind of going, if I don't perform, A, I'm not going to be in this team, and B, I won't be at this club, because it's actually got that serious over the last 6 months. And I think Henderson and definitely Fabinho's in that. And I want to touch on players coming back and a few worries as well, in fairness, in a few minutes. But can we talk about Pope and the sending off? So I'm presuming everyone's seen it. The ball gets flung in the box, Alisson claims it, and you just see Salah at the bottom of the screen when he claims it, turning and running. And Alisson does his usual, where he belts one over the top. Pope comes out. I don't know what he's trying to do. You know what I mean? He'd be better off just standing still and let it hit him. But he tries to trap it with his head, by the looks of it. And then just catches it. Just goes down on the ground, catches it. Ref gives a red card. It's a definite red card. But the reaction to this is phenomenal. Because Jamie Redknapp is trying to make an argument that it's a yellow card. Right? And my understanding is, if all his teammates are behind him when he does that, it's a red card. It's a professional foul. Eddie Howe comes out after and says, well, technically it's a I feel sorry for him. Technically it is a handball. I'm not too sure on the rules. But the player is running away from goal at an angle where our defenders are retreating towards our goal. Right? When he handles that ball, there's one defender who's level with the goalkeeper. And if he doesn't touch it, Salah is about 15 feet wide of the post. We're running on goal. Nobody's catching him. So I just could not understand where all the bullshit was coming with regards to this red card. Like, genuinely, they're having fucking discussions on big broadcasters over whether this is a red card or not. Seany, it's simply a red card. If you come out and handle the ball like that intentionally, you're off.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what sort of argument they're trying to make. I actually think if you look, it was actually a facet of their play. They did a very high line, and he actually comes and claims one about 20 yards from outside his box before that. So it's obviously part of their setup. Newcastle line's very high. He's probably playing sweeper keeper. Like, he denies a clear goal, scored an opportunity as the last man on the pitch. If it had been in the box it would have just been a penalty because the double jeopardy, you wouldn't have sent him off. Do you know what? Like, but the fact it's outside the box, he clearly handles the balls, is getting away from him and solid clean through. It's a no-brainer. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of the shit Eddie Howe says, to be honest with you.
But Barry says, Gav, you're wrong. A keeper handling a ball can be a red, yellow, or nothing, depending on various things. No, he lies on the ground, puts his hands out, and grabs the fucking ball. There's no talk of certainty.
Do you know what?
It's a red card.
To me, it, it was just reactional from him, from Pope. You can tell it was just his instinct taking over. Because ball hits him on the head first, and then he puts his hands out to grab it, because I'd say that's probably what he does 1,000 times a week in training, and the ball breaks in the box. But he wasn't in the box. And you only have to look at Pope's reaction. He didn't even look at the ref. He just went straight down the tunnel. Yeah. And that would normally tell you everything. You look at the Newcastle player's reaction. It's a red card. Like... Yeah. It's as simple as that.
It's an intentional professional foul, because people are going about the double jeopardy thing. If a player's going through and a defender makes a genuine attempt to get the ball and takes him down, they're in the box. It's a yellow card and a penalty, I think now. Yeah. Right? But outside the box is a clear up goal scoring opportunity, so you're red carded. It's just a great decision.
It's like one thing that hasn't happened through the whole thing is that the ref has got no praise. I think he made a great decision. I think looking at where the game was, St. James's, the noise of the crowd, them being, even though it was 2-0, they were in the game when they were down to 10 men. Like, the ref doesn't bottle it. He plays it as he sees it. He's close enough to the situation, and he makes the right decision straight away. Again, looking at Pope's reaction, I don't know what Howe's intentions was in terms of, I don't know, maybe their outlook was probably, do you know what we'll do? They would have been thinking, we have a final coming up. If we put the narrative out there that we maybe think the decision is wrong and we appeal it, and the off chance it gets lifted and he can play the final, then we'll do that.
I think if he does protest against it, he might be able to play the final, because it'll be put back, won't it?
The appeal
no,
won't be heard.
The appeal wouldn't be heard till after the cup final, but he could end up with a 4-game
ban.
Yeah,
but that, look, I don't know but like, I don't get it anymore, Gav.
I think everybody's being swayed by the fact that he misses a final. If that was a Premier League game coming up at the weekend, I don't think there would be that much of a furore over it. And it's the deliberate part. If he goes down, misses the header, and the ball lands on his hand and rolls off, it's the fact that he literally scoops it up. That's the red card. I think if he doesn't do the scooping part, I think he probably gets away with a yellow.
A couple of years ago, Alisson got sent off against Brighton, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because
the ball was being lifted over him, and he jumped up with his hands in the air. So he made an intentional attempt to hit the ball. Do you know what I mean? But like the way some people are speaking,
there you go.
But the way some people are speaking is right. Like, genuinely, if you listen to some of their arguments, right, your goalkeeper can run out, fall on the ground, grab the ball, and go, "Oh, well, look, are we not yellow now?" Like, literally, your keeper could, you could be in injury time, right, and he could just run out and just grab the ball and just go. Yeah, it's
but you're saying some people, Gav, it's these people on Sky now who are playing characters now. You may as well be watching Dream Team.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'll say what maybe somebody doesn't want to say. If that was a foreign keeper, there's no arguments. He's an English keeper. He's going to miss a League Cup final. It was Gary Lineker begging the FA or whoever in the Premier League to allow him to play in the final last night on Match of the Day. Jamie Redknapp had time. I just think it's ridiculous how, like I said, if it was a league game next, I don't think there would be as much of a furore about it.
Yeah, no, but the knock-on effect is that the Bravka is cup tied because he played for United in the League Cup. So you're looking at Loris Karius now playing in the League Cup final. He hasn't played a game for Newcastle, which is just outrageous. Like, you know what I mean? But you never know. He could turn into bleeding. You know, listen, I've no problem if Loris Karius turns into performance of his career next week, and then goes off and does another deadly holiday video like he done in California that time. But I just can't get over it, and it just reinforces the fact that what you're watching on TV now is not pundits anymore. It's characters.
No.
It's scripted. They're characters, and it's a performance they're putting on. Like, I don't know how anyone in their right mind can sit there and say to you, surely a yellow, you know what? And I'm kind of going, no. Just know what I mean? Just no. And then Eddie Howe to come out and just make up stuff. Like, no one's going to check it out. Do you know what I mean?
Such a thing you used to play when you were a young player, penny or a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Then when something happened and it was dubious, you used to just say, right, penny or a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
You used to be able to have a chat with a ref after the game and beg him not to put your red card in.
Yeah. Dropping number 5.
Please, ref, we're going to miss the final.
But look,
I think refs are getting battered from pillar to post, rightfully so. We've had the conversations on here fucking every other week, you know, every other Sunday we're talking about refs. But I think it's a great decision. I think he could have hit behind VAR there. You know, he didn't even need VAR. He was very sure of his decision straight away. I think it's a great one. And he should be. Sky will be the same one saying that refs shouldn't be under pressure and this, that, and the other, and they're doing specials with them on Sky Sports News and trying to protect them. And then I don't know. It's just weird. I don't want to say it's an anti-Liverpool thing, but I'm wondering if it had been Newcastle Brighton, would anyone have gave a fuck? You know, yeah. I just couldn't
get over the reaction. I was like,
I didn't watch the game yesterday.
It's literally the easiest decision the ref had to make yesterday. Like literally, you know, you see that tackle.
I didn't watch the game yesterday.
You know what I mean? And you're kind of going, no one's looking at that. There's no outrage over that when he clearly cleans him over. But I don't know. You didn't watch it on Sky. You were lucky, to be honest.
Yeah, no, but I heard a lot of people saying it like about, and again, like it's just I start laughing now at Tyler when I hear his commentary, or if that's what you call it.
Oh, him and Carragher were like literally baying for a Newcastle goal.
So I believe, so I believe. I didn't see. I was watching. Jim Bengham was shocking. Carragher's a fucking idiot. Carragher's, ever since he spit out the car window, he's become a completely different. It's like he's been doing it's like Sky had a little or no control over him, but now they have him by the bollocks, and he's just pure company man now.
But I don't understand why Carragher does Liverpool games. Same with Neville doing United games. I just don't understand it, because you have to get them to be as impartial as they can on certain games, and they're just not. And Sky play up to that little bit where they put Neville against Thing, and they have them both in the commentary for United Liverpool games, and you know, I'm okay, fair enough, but it's not punditry anymore. It's literally like going down to Broadway and watching something.
Colour commentary, is that
fan zone?
Yeah, fan zone. It is fan zone, but they're being portrayed as, you know. I can't listen to them anymore. Any of them, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyway, moving on. 2-0 there, down to 10. They actually do react really well. Newcastle, give them credit. They do react really well to going down to 10 men. But Liverpool kind of find themselves then, and kind of, because it is true, when a team goes down to 10 men, they put that extra bit in. You're a bit unsure whether to go for them or just hold off and see what they have and then try to pick them off. But Liverpool find their way. There's some good chances. Robertson wastes an awful one where he tries to square to Salah when he should be just slotting it. Jota has a couple of chances when he comes on. But I just want to talk up the returning players. Emma, I'll come to you first. You know, you see Firmino come on and get more minutes. You see Jota come on and get more minutes. Kanate can't be too far off, I don't think, now. But it is good to see, isn't it, where you're looking at the bench going, he can come on and do something. He can come on and do something. And even if we didn't have them on the bench, we were 2-0 up with a couple of youngsters there, players you mightn't fancy, you'd be kind of going, oh, don't bring them on, because like, we're winning, you don't want to give Newcastle that. But it was really good, wasn't it, to see these players coming back, and it just gives you more and more options.
Yeah, and we said last week that, and you said that Klopp put a rocket up them, but those players coming back kind of puts a rocket up them as well, because they know that they can be easily replaced now. look, they came on. They look a bit rusty. That's gonna be the case. I wouldn't be too worried about it. It gives us the opportunity to take 4 players off on 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Which we probably wouldn't have been able to do if we had said Youngfellas on the bench. But I think it gives everybody a lift. I think, like I said earlier on, it turned into a testimonial. I think the last 20 minutes was 20 minutes, half an hour. It was literally like a testimonial, and they were trying to get the ball to the fella whose testimonial it was to get him to score, because everybody just wanted to get Jota on the score sheet. It was just strange. But yeah, look, it's great to see them coming back. They'll get better the more minutes they get. I don't know whether either one of them will be pushing for Tuesday, but it is great to have them to come on. I don't like Bobby coming on as a sub. I think he plays better when he starts.
He does some lovely stuff in the game, and then he can't pass 5 yards. But that's all getting back.
He sent a few of them to the shops, with his drag back and everything, and then got him and Jota some good link-up play between them two. But I still think they're probably a little bit off starting positions. Let's see what happens with Nunez. But it's great to have them to fall back on. When you look back on benches we've had for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, probably wasn't. We had Doak. Not saying Doak isn't a good player, but I prefer Jota to be sitting there rather than Ben Doak.
Yeah.
So, it's great to have them fall back on.
Yeah, and listen, they come on, they do 30 minutes, and it's 30 minutes in their legs, but it's also saving other players 30 minutes for a game that essentially is 72 hours, I think, after we finish this game. So it's one of those where, it's good on both sides. Seany, couple of worries, though, for me, all right? Joe Gomez is still a worry. I was surprised he didn't play Matip beside Van Dijk. And Fabinho was better in the last 2 games, but I still think he looks shaky as anything on the ball. Even on the ball, I think he looks shaky as anything. Do you have to give him a little bit more time to get back up to speed or build that confidence again, or is he still a massive worry for you? Because I thought them two, I was a bit worried over them. Joe Gomez goes wandering up one stage. I don't know where the fuck he's going.
He's looking more like himself, Fabinho. But again, I give Newcastle credit, because even with 10 men, I thought they pressed really well. They did cause us issues, but I thought just Fabinho, I don't know. It's like he's half-arsing challenges, standing tackles. I think he just needs a little bit more snap in his game. But we're at the stage now where he has to kind of play himself into form, because there's no one really to cover that 6 for him. So they look better. Gomez, I don't know. He's losing me every game. The more I watch him, the same mistakes he makes, he doesn't seem to be learning, really. I don't think Van Dijk was great yesterday either, but he's had to be out for a while. But the difference with Van Dijk is the ball's going in the box. He's getting rid of it. It's not fucking pandemonium the way it has been with Matip. Yeah. I'd definitely be playing Matip on Tuesday, and hoping that Konate is back in the next couple of weeks. But again, it's just better for us that if we need something in the next last 20, half an hour of a game, you're turning to the likes of Jota and Firmino now. Not to what we have been doing.
Hopefully, Diaz soon enough as well.
And Diaz, but we're not fucking pulling Ox off the bench looking for him to do something. And he's been starting games up until the recent. So, look, I don't want to harp on negatives, because I think with 10 men, it can be difficult to kind of impose your game. I think there can be a level of complacency as well when you're playing against 10. I think there was times yesterday where probably just had got the head up in the final third, and we take our chances. But I'd say one thing about Gomez, he seems to step up for big games. Like I think the 2 best games he had this season, where I think he plays really well in the Champions League. I think
Man City at home in the league, I think he plays as well.
He plays brilliant against Man City at home in the league. Look, but go with what we have. I think Fabinho now at 60-70%. It's hard to kind of know what's gone wrong with him. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing. It didn't look like a legs issue yesterday. I just thought he was poor on the ball.
But then again,
Yeah,
you know,
tough one. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know how close.
He's only had a baby, hasn't he? He's probably getting no fucking sleep.
Yeah, he's probably on the night
Like
phase.
Keane said, he didn't have the fucking baby.
Yeah, he's not breastfeeding, is he?
Well,
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, maybe it is a case where you want to see Gomez again beside Van Dijk, because in fairness, you know, as much as we talk about Van Dijk being a massive help to Matip, he's a massive help to anyone. Let's be honest, even at 80%, which is probably what you've seen him at in the last 12 months. But him and Gomez used to be fucking rock solid.
That fucking blind pass Gomez plays every time does my fucking head in. It does me head in every time. He either plays it out the Trent or back across the goal, and it's just, he does it every time. He gave away 2 goals this season, the owner already. I think it's Palace. Was it Palace? He does it in the goal. Who's it?
No, Leeds.
No, who did we give a goal away?
Leeds. Yeah.
Was it Leeds? Yeah, that, and he fucking just play percentages and bang her up the line if you have to.
I know, but that's the thing. As confidence grows, they'll play more of them, but you have to see what you get away with. Red Chili with a super chat, and by the way, all super chats on this channel go to our charity, which we talk about later. But he says, just spent 25 minutes watching Gav, Emma, and Keith talk about Man City before I realised I was watching the wrong show. Had to grab a Coke can, so he clearly came onto the channel and picked the wrong video. So he's just watching the video from 2 weeks ago, or last week maybe. But fair play. But as I said, all super chats do go to our charity. And yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But look, it's a good win. It's a good win. It puts us in I'm not going to say a great position or even a nice position, just a position where you can feel you can look up the table and try target different bits and pieces. And like I said, our next 3 league games is away to Palace, home to Wolves, home to United, and we just have to target. Real Madrid will take care of itself. It's a big European game; it'll take care of itself. But they have to be targeted as 3 wins. You know, Palace will be tough, and Wolves we haven't been good against this season. You know, bar maybe the cup game where we win at Molyneux, but we're horrendous in the league. So we've a bit of a point to prove there. And of course, United are doing really well, but I watched them today and they could have been 2 or 3-0 down before they actually score. So they can be got at. And I think United are the epitome of what this league is this season. That's being honest with you. When I watch them, I just think they're just not great shakes, but they're getting results. So looking forward, we have a target we can pick at, and I think it's going to be massive now. The next 3 league games, especially, just to see where we are then, and then you go again and you put another target on it. But let's look forward to Tuesday, because it's a massive game. Real Madrid at Anfield, first leg of the last 16 in the Champions League, and you know, Shawnee, you were talking to me last night about it, and you were saying, Real Madrid haven't been that great this season. Barcelona are 8 points clear or something in the La Liga, and Barcelona looked anything but good against United on Thursday night. Do Liverpool just have to look at this and go, you know what, we might be finding a bit of form. It might be too early to say we're finding a bit of form, but let's go out and just give her a right go against this.
Yeah. It's not a case of having nothing to lose, but there should be an incentive to fucking beat these there for a lot of these players, because not that we were robbed in the final last year, but fucking we were far better than they were in that game last year. Courtois just manages to get. So there should be a bit of fucking pride involved for some of these players. And you know, like, if it was any other team, Gav, I'm not gonna lie to you, if it was, I mean including City and PSG in this, if it was any other team in the competition, you'd be thinking, this is fucking Liverpool in the Champions League, but we're playing Real Madrid in the Champions League. And for whatever fucking voodoo we have in this competition, they do too. You know? Their run to the final last year was fucking mad. I think they led for about 18 minutes in the whole knockout stages, apart from the final. Some mad stat I've seen where they literally come back in every round they're in. So there should be a big incentive for come. I just hope Anfield is rocking. And look, I tell you, if you get an early goal or 2, who knows what could happen to them, you know. But although they haven't been great, they're still a good outfit.
They feel very similar to us. Haven't been great, but Europe is a different animal.
Yeah, well, like, we've been shy. Like, I wouldn't say that I wish that if we haven't been great, I reckon we'd be even closer to the top four than we are. We've been shy, if I'm being honest. You know, I just think it's probably an indictment on La Liga at the moment that they still were in any kind of shout. They've been hit and miss. But just fucking go out and have a go and leave her on them and be difficult to play against and be snide and just be Liverpool. I think is the most the thing I can say on Tuesdays. Fucking have a bit of belief in yourself, and I think coming off the back of the two results that we've just had, it feels more like Liverpool. Not that I'm optimistic, but have a fucking go. You know what I mean? Don't bleed and don't shy away from this. I don't know whether Benzema will play, and I think Cruz is a possible doubt, and too many. So they're gonna miss a few bodies as well. But if our midfield three play the way they have for the large part against after Christmas, forget about it. That's all I'll say. I'm not worried about like the Vinicius Trent thing doesn't bother me at all, to be honest with you, because like he's not. I don't think he's a great player. If I'm being honest, I don't see it for Vinicius. I don't think he's done over 20 goals in the season since he's been at Madrid. Yeah, I know he's young and all. It might come back to bite me, but I really don't. I don't see it with him. I think he's flashy. I think there's been fucking millions of Brazilian wingers like him since Ronaldinho. I don't think he's it at all. I know he gets the goal in the final, but fuck all else in that game, by being honest. If we impose our game on them, we can hurt them. And they will know that. I hope to God Nunez is fit, because they won't know what to do with him.
No, well, that's
he's always causing problems against us. He's not Kevin Ball. He wasn't. He was shy in the final. He got the goal, but he was dirt. He didn't cause us problems at all. I watch a lot of Madrid, and I really don't rate him at all. I actually think your man's a better player than him. Rodrigo. I think your man Rodrigo's a better footballer.
I think Rodrigo's quality.
Yeah, he's quality.
But like they're very like us. I think that form goes out the window thing. When it comes to Europe,
he's not world class.
But Emma, is it a good time to face them? And the reason I'm saying that is because we've a couple of wins out the back of it, right? We're off the back of a couple of wins, but not only that, we seem to have players that want to prove themselves. That's one. We seem to have players that are benefiting massively from a little upturn in form. And you have players coming back that'll go, well, if this is the game I want to show that I'm back, this is it. A Jota for 25 minutes, a Firmino for 25 minutes. Is it just a nice mix going into this? And Ancelotti has called us predictable and stuff like that. Now, that was a bit, I don't know whether that was a bit tongue-in-cheek after the Champions League final, because we bashed them in that Champions League final. Let's be honest about it. Like, Mane was fucking all over them. We chances everywhere. Like, we loads of chances. So we weren't that predictable to them. Their keeper just had a worldie on the day for me, and we missed a couple of chances. And maybe he's just saying that he likes the Royal Liverpool a little bit. And that's fair enough. I'm nothing against that. But does it feel like going into this off the back of those two league games that, you know what, there's something just might click here, something just feels like parts are starting to come together a bit.
Yeah, I think it feels like there's something bubbling. There's a run. I think there's a run bubbling. Probably would have liked to get maybe another league game in before we had to face them, just to get everybody tuned up a little bit more. But I don't think there's any good time to play Real Madrid in Europe. I think Seany touched on it. There's no good time to play us in Europe. So it's kind of two absolute giants of European football coming together. Seany said that they got bashed around last year and still ended up winning things, and that's always been Real Madrid. They could be out of the game for 89 minutes and score in the 90th to go through. They never know they're beaten, and neither do we. I mean, it's a lot better playing them now than we had to play them 2 weeks ago. I think Nunez is going to be massive in this game, because I think, has Camavinga been playing right back, or I think he's been covering that right back or left back for them. It'll be similar to what we said last week, to get Nunez on Coleman straight away. Get Nunez on Camavinga if he's playing right back. I think it'll be an excellent game. I think We're going to do predictions?
Yeah, of course. You might as well.
I think we get a win by the odd goal at Anfield. I'm just worried that might not be enough come the second leg. I think we win 2-1 on Tuesday.
Okay, Sean, you want to give us a prediction on it?
No.
No?
I don't do
Fuck
predictions. It's a lot of bollocks. Hypothetical bollocks.
Well, I've Liverpool 3-1 on Tuesday because I think they'll back up. I said 3-1 in both games, Newcastle and this, and I'm sticking to 3-1. I do agree with you, Emmet. I think Nunez will be a massive factor if he plays, and I just think the way the three of them are starting to link, and I know it's a very small, sample size, but it's just the movement of them, and it's just they seem to be growing with each other when they're playing.
If Benzema is playing, it'll be a different game.
Yeah, 3-0 says Nigel, 2-2 says Eunice for me, unfortunately. June, jot it in for Nunez if he can't start. Yus is playing safe with 8-0 to Liverpool. Fair play to you. Keep smoking that gear, whatever you're smoking. Jono says 2-1 to Liverpool. But look, it's one of those where it's just going to be a great occasion. It always is at Anfield. Real Madrid just puts that extra bit of spice into it from what's gone on between the two clubs over the last 4 or 5 years in the Champions League. And you know what? I hope Liverpool don't look at it as a game where they feel massive pressure. I'd love Liverpool to embrace it and make this a real stepping stone in putting a run together. And I'm not saying a draw will be a bad result because away goals don't count anymore, don't you know?
No.
So you go out there and all right, you might draw 1-1, but you still go to Bernabeu. You still fancy Liverpool to get a goal. It just depends what Real Madrid turn up there. So it'll be interesting.
I think that the tight pitch at Anfield will suit us better, obviously, than we play there. But I think they prefer a bigger pitch. I think the Bernabeu is a massive pitch, isn't it?
Yeah,
well,
probably the camera angle. I always remember Old Trafford looking about 4 times the size of Anfield for years, and it turns out it's only about 5 meters.
We said it before the derby as well. I think the fans is going to be massive, like it always is on a European night. But like now that we've got the 2 wins under our belt, there's definitely, I would imagine, going to be they're going to welcome the bus. Just hopefully they all behave when the Real Madrid bus arrives. But I think that's massive when you see the videos going around, like about 6:30 when the buses arrive and the red flares and all that kind of stuff. I just think they need to create that atmosphere that probably a lot of those Real Madrid players probably haven't played in before, because the last time we played them, I think it was with no fans, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is, like, I spoke about the derby and winning second balls and different things like that. This one is all about tracking runners. Like, I'd literally be playing chasing in Kirby for the next all day Monday. Just a game of chasing where you have to track the fella you're chasing all day. Because honestly, right, Real Madrid will come out and the way they play is they sit back, they sit quite deep, but then they look to hit you. It's not even so much on the break. They look to hit one intelligent ball and then get themselves in their shape where they're going to hurt you. And it's all about tracking players genuinely. So Liverpool tracking players on Tuesday night is going to be massive. If the midfielders and whoever else does their job in tracking players, cutting out balls, Liverpool have a massive chance. If they don't, that's where Real Madrid hurt you, because they have got the players that they'll just pick one really intelligent pass somewhere. It could be a 15-yard ball, and they just open into space.
Look at the goal last year in the final, Modric. It's one pass, like.
Yeah.
Valverde's ball is great now, but it's one pass from Modric takes about 4 or 5 players out of the game.
Yeah.
And it's that little bit of genius that they have. Like, Modric is one of my favourite players of generation. It's all going to be about energy. Forget about Vinicius and all them. Honestly, it'll come down to that midfield battle on Tuesday. I fancy Trent. Like, I think the whole Trent thing is. Trent 1-on-1 is fine as a defender, I think, to be honest with you. Your man Matoma left him in the... Your man Matoma is a more effective dribbler than Vinicius, in my mind. Vinicius, when he stands here flapping his leg over the ball all the time. Honestly, I don't see it. Trent's biggest thing is switching off.
Yeah.
It's switching off and with balls coming in, and that's what he done in the final. I think it'll literally be whoever wins in the middle has a huge chance in this game.
Yeah.
And I think they're missing. They miss Casemiro, big style.
Yeah.
Big style.
But he
because
breaks
as
everything
good
up
as
for him.
Tchouameni
He was the destroyer. But it's not even a
as good
3-on-3
as
in
Tchouameni is,
midfield where
he doesn't sniff it away.
No, the other players don't sniff it out like he does. But it's not even like a 3-on-3 where they go against each other. I'm more looking at going. I'm not even thinking of a Henderson or a Fabinho or a Bacic getting the better of a Camavinga or a Tchouameni or Kroos or whoever plays or Valverde. I'm more looking at if Robertson goes or if Trent goes, that fella in midfield needs to know he's the right back for Liverpool until Trent comes back. And that's where Trent actually gets hurt because when he goes, for the last 6 months, nobody's helped him. Nobody's gone, I'll look after that for you. We've seen a little bit with Henderson. We've seen a little bit with Henderson, I thought, yesterday. But that was all because we were just so disjointed. And I think that's where the big thing will be. Your midfielders walking to cover. If they walk and cover, I think you'd be all right. Because a lot of people in the chat there have said Real Madrid will come and sit back. And they might well do.
They will. They will, 100%. They take a 0-all tomorrow. And I think that's what Ancelotti will do, to be honest with you. He'll fancy getting us back to the Bernabeu with any slight advantage he'd fancy to do. Because, again, like Liverpool, I know they're turning into a soulless, bleeding toaster in the next couple of years, what they're doing with the Bernabeu. But it's paying for his Champions League nights. And better players than ours have crumbled in them situations. And he will look at that. Ancelotti is the master at this competition. He's won it. I think he's won it 3 or 4 times, hasn't he?
Ah, yeah, he's won it a couple of times.
Yeah, he's a brilliant. And he will literally, he will be delighted to go there and go, do you know what? I'll stifle them, and we'll be grand going back to the. So it's up to us to kind of blitz them early and then make them have to play, because if we let them get comfortable, they'll just move it around for 90 and be happy to take us back to the Bernabeu. Yeah. And I'd be in the same boat as Emmet. I think a 2-1 or maybe even a 3-1. I'm not sure it'll be enough. I think we still the only English team to win the Bernabeu.
We could be.
No, Chelsea won there, didn't they? But they went out on away goals or something, didn't they?
Yeah. Or maybe so, yeah. Just Joe Wayman is in there. He says his top 4 still on. Yeah, we don't give up here, Joe. But he reckons that Leeds might be down. Actually, Joe, give us a shout because you might want to come on with us tomorrow night and on Monday night and talk about the weekend's football. So give me a shout, Joe. You're still watching. If not,
just say what the Leeds situation is a fucking joke. How can you sack a manager?
And just nobody had no one. But it's what Everton. Everton took fucking 10 days to do it. You know, unless they're looking for someone that's already in a job and they're trying to sort that out. I don't know, but I'd love to have a chat with Joe. I might just get me and Joe on tomorrow night to talk about, because me and Joe have lovely chats. So if he's still there, he might let me know. If not, I'll text him later and we'll get Joe on, because everyone loves when Joe comes on the channel. He's probably liked more than most of us, in fairness, and that's all right. You know, he wears nice tracksuits. Anyway, we're nearly up at the hour. Are we going with the team we seen yesterday? More or less, yeah. Maybe Matip for Gomez, but
I think he sticks with Gomez because of his pace to try and maybe give a little bit of extra cover for Trent with Vinicius.
But the only thing I would say is I think Matip breeds it better.
Yeah,
Matip makes up for, I'm not saying a lack of pace, but he makes up for that bit of pace that he doesn't. What he doesn't have on Gomez, where he reads it a little bit better. And the changes he makes the other night on the hour tells me that you're probably seeing the same team. You going with that?
I think Henderson goes again, and that's why he came off on 60. I know you were saying that he wouldn't play 3 in a week, but he came off at 60. And even in the derby, he ran himself into the ground for 78 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had that in him. Fair play to him, but I think he'll probably go with the same thing, depending on whether it's Nunez's injury or whatever.
We haven't had Derek asked any news on Nunez's injury. Klopp just explained that as a painful one, so I'm presuming nothing's hasn't dislocated anything or broken anything.
So unless he needs surgery, he's going to play.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Because
fucking big
if it's his collarbone around,
Calpol into his shoulder, he'd be grand. Loud of Nordifen.
Just bang a loud of cortisone.
A bit of flat 7-Up, he'd be grand.
A bit of Calpol 6 Plus, the strawberry one, and you just fucking lash it into him, he'd be grand.
He's a madman, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's fucking nuts.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to score a goal in an away game and jump into the home fans and celebrate. Like, genuinely, I am. He's getting so close to it. Like, you know, like you run to your own team. I'm waiting for him to jump into the Stretford end at the score in Old Trafford. Something like that. But
do you know who reminds me of? Remember when Mascherano scored against Redmen and he just ran towards Joe going, fuck off! Fuck off!
Yeah.
Fuck off!
Remember? Do you remember Timothy Ketspoya for Newcastle when he scored and he broke his foot?
Broke his ankle.
Kicking the advertising.
Kicking the
and then, do you remember?
Took his jersey off and threw it into the crowd and smashed the horns.
Yeah, and then there was another one Liverpool related as well. Liverpool go and win at Arsenal. Suarez, I think, scores. Real Madrid puts on a play for Suarez in the last minute. He beat Arsenal. It's pissing rain out. Jose Enrique has a brilliant game. It's the black jersey we're playing in. And Liverpool score, and then they make it 2. But when they score, they're all hugging each other. And Real Madrid is like gesturing towards the Liverpool bench, like the V sign, everything, fuck off. You know what I mean? He leaves Liverpool like a couple of months later, but he's clearly fucking had enough. And he's just like this, fuck you, at the Liverpool bench. Which was, you see it. But I reckon he might jump into a home end to celebrate a goal. And I don't know, do you book him for that? Because you're usually for celebrating with your fans. Like, is it all right?
Depends on what angle he goes in at.
Yeah, Nick Pope just sitting in the front row with a ball in his hand. But no, look, I think he will be huge come Tuesday night, and we're all looking forward to it. Rest of the week on the channel. Tomorrow, I'm trying to get Joe, so me and Joe can have a chat. If not, we'll round up some people and have a chat around the weekend's football. Do some winners and losers. Tuesday will be full-time Reds with I'm not too sure, 2 of the 3 lads that usually do it. Wednesday will be our call-in show, which everybody loves. Thursday will be Viewer's Voice. Friday will be the Premier League forecast. Liverpool are away to Palace on Saturday, aren't they? I want to say they're away to Palace on Saturday. Yeah, so it'll be a full-time Reds on Saturday, and we'll be back here on Sunday with the Fatback 4. Anything else before we go, lads?
It's a 8:15 kickoff as well next Saturday.
Emma. So it'll be a 10 o'clock show or whatever. Yeah. Emma, anything else before we go?
Looking forward to the Real Madrid game a lot better than I was a couple of weeks ago. 6 points in a week, while everybody above us, Brentford were, Brighton, Newcastle, Spurs, I think they've all dropped points in that time, so it's looking up. Okay.
Shawnee, apart from me trying to get you to take up golf, is there anything else before we go?
No, all good. Like Emmet, take nothing for granted. We probably took being the Champions League for granted the last couple of years, now the finals we played. So just enjoy Tuesday. And hope it's just one of them nights where you can look back and remember that. Because like Klopp certainly hasn't given up on this group of players, you can tell. And they turn around and people are saying, when will Liverpool turn around? But like I said, I don't think we are ever that far away. And Tuesday could be a fucking real, like, it could be a turning point in the season where Liverpool go out and send a statement to go, so now what, we're not fucking done yet. So please God, European royalty and not owned by states, not yet anyway. So we can say that as much, the European royalty, and still kind of holding on to its soul for now when the game is becoming soulless. So
yeah, 100%.
Let's see.
Are you going to take up golf with me, Shawnee? Are you going to take the plunge?
Yeah, but Gav, I'll tell you something.
I'd be so happy to see you try to take up golf.
You never would have guessed it, but I fly off the handle.
Yeah.
So I could
like I could see you missing like a putt 30 feet and
Yeah.
going absolutely rasher
Yeah.
over it.
I actually might end up grabbing a 7-iron around your crust before the end of the first video.
I'm going in with a helmet. I'm going to play with a helmet.
It could literally, it could be detrimental to day trippers. Like whatever happens on Bang Average Golf could be collateral to the whole network. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I end up playing.
Honestly, we've done 2 videos. We filmed for one day. We've done 2 videos. We've put them out. People have loved them. And honestly, they were only test videos, so we weren't planning to do this in April, but we're going to try to get out next week and do a bit more and try to do it once a week, where we video for the whole day, bring you 4 or 5 videos and that. But the amount of people that have come on and gone, can I come and play with you? Can I have a game? You know, and it's bang average golf. Type it on YouTube, you'll find it. It's me and Neely, and we have if you subscribe there and you have the community tab, we've left the thing at the top of the tab to say if you have any suggestions over games you want to see us play, rules, anything at all, anything you want to see on the channel, we're well open for it, because it's genuinely it's a blank canvas that we've started with. The only thing we have is 2 lads hitting golf balls, genuinely. So go and check it out. Jared Cahill says pitch and putt all day. I'd love a game of pitch and putt. I'm going to be the Graham Potter thing is fascinating. Well, it's not really. He's going to get sacked. Look, someone Burden says Shawnee Gilmore. That's exactly what he'd be like. Shawnee Gilmore playing golf. But listen, it's something we're doing. We're having fun with it, and the more people like to send us suggestions, want to come out and play with us, anything like that, or want us to go and play on their courses as well, we'll try to sort it out. But it's been loads and loads and loads of fun. But we won't stop doing these shows. Obviously, on the Day Trippers, they're the priority and always will be. That's it. That's been the Fatback 4. We've just done over your hour. And like I said, loads and loads of shows and stuff coming throughout the week with loads of different hosts and guests and stuff like that. So make sure you check it out. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, our charity campaign, the link is in the description. It's very easy to donate. Hit the link, brings it up. You can donate. If not, share it amongst your family or friends and stuff like that. I know it's hard at these times to donate money. We're seeing it, how we're trying to raise money for this. But our golf day is going to really boost that. But if you want to donate, great. If you want to contact me, lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com, and you want to sponsor a hole for the day or a long drive or a close to the pin, or you want to send us a prize for the raffle that'll happen that night, it will really help us in raising that money. Our target is 20 grand. We're just over 2 at the minute, which is grand, which is fine at the moment. But if you in any way want to help us out, lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com, and we'll smash another target when it comes to charity as well. Have the rest of your Sunday, 55 minutes left in your Sunday. Enjoy work if you're in it tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Liverpool and Real Madrid on Tuesday. And we'll see you at some stage. Over and out.